Hello.
Well, hello there.
Hi.
Hi. So anyone that is just joining us, this is Grace Leer.
Hi, guys.
I heard that you, well, first of all, you're on American Idol,
Yes.
top 20, correct?
Yeah. I got
So
voted into the top 20, which is crazy.
is that how, I'm sorry, is that how it works now? So you now vote, sorry, I watch American Idol on and off.
Yeah.
I've been watching since, day one.
Yeah.
Um, and I know that they've changed a couple things. So to make it into the top 20, you have to be voted on.
No, so that was the crazy thing. And being in country music, Lauren Massetti and I were the two country singers in the top 40 back in Hawaii. And typically it's up to the judges to mold the top 20, but they couldn't decide between me and Lauren. So they let America vote. That was actually the first time in history that they had people vote someone into the top 20. And
That's awesome.
and I'm so grateful that they voted for me. I still can't believe it. And now we're performing from home. So
I mean, well, yeah. So that's how it's gonna go, right? Are you guys essentially? There's not going to be really a stage anymore.
yeah,
Um,
so typically the live shows are done at CBS Studios in Hollywood. But now with the coronavirus, they sent us home and they are sending us everything we need in order to make the show the best it can be from home. And it's going to be exciting. It's definitely historic. This has never happened before. But I'm excited to bring entertainment to people's homes right now because it's a tough time right now. So it's
yeah,
fun to do it.
absolutely. And that's the thing. That honestly, that's what I'm hearing from a lot of people throughout social media, throughout like live broadcasts from home, is that a lot of shows like this, and I watch a lot of reality TV, which that kind of just like distracts me from the crap that's going on.
Yeah. What's your favorite reality show? Can I ask you that?
I'm honestly a Bravo-holic.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm so much to the point where I watch like Andy Cohen Watch What Happens Live like every night after the show.
That's amazing.
It just it really you know it makes me like humble, not humble. It makes me realize that rich people have problems too.
Yeah.
In fact, sometimes when you don't have money to worry about like the rest of us, you actually seem to have more problems for some reason.
Yeah.
Like that song, Mo Money, More Problems. So yeah, that's what, do you watch reality show?
I mean, Idol obviously is a reality show. I'm not big into reality shows. That's what's so funny. I've watched The Bachelor here and there, but that's about it. Like, I'm such like a Netflix person. I love my Netflix
So
stuff.
I'm sure you saw Tiger King.
I saw a little bit of Tiger King. I also did watch Love is Blind. So that is a reality show that I watched through and through. And I wanted to stop. Like, I was like, why am I still watching this? But it was entertaining.
So what is that one about? Because that's the one, like every time I pop up Netflix, it suggests that, like, it starts the trailer.
It's
And
basically like they're all on like blind dates, but blind as in like they are talking to each other, but they can't see each other. It's almost like if they were getting
on The
to meet
Voice.
over the phone or like online or something. Like they haven't met in person, so they have no idea what they look like. So they don't know if that like physical attraction is there. They're just getting to know them. So, I mean, it's a cool concept and some of them stayed together. So I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
So they follow up with them?
I'm sorry.
They follow up with them like after the show?
Yeah, they did like you should watch it. I don't want to give it away. You need to watch it.
Right. Actually, you know what? Now that I have all the time in the world at this point,
Exactly.
might as well.
Yeah.
So you're from the Bay Area, right?
Yeah. So I'm from the Bay Area, Phil. And then I went to UC Berkeley.
Oops.
I played. Oh, can you see me?
Yeah, there you go. Sorry.
Yeah. So grew up in Danville, went to UC Berkeley, played college soccer there, graduated in 2014, and then I moved to Nashville 3 years ago. So I put a band together actually in the Bay in San Francisco. I've always wanted to play at Goldfields in Sacramento. We've never played there. Oh man, I drove all the way out there to hear. It was like right around when Carly Pierce was getting big, and she
Oh,
had
really?
a duet with Josh Abbott band. And I love
Yes.
Josh Abbott band, and they were playing out there at Goldfields, and it was like a Tuesday. And I remember I had like work in the morning, and I was like, I don't care, I'm going. Like, I need to see Josh Abbott band. I love Carly Pierce. and it was so good. Anyway, yeah, Bay Area, born and raised, and then I moved to Nashville 3 years ago, and basically just been doing my own original music there.
What's that country bar in Fremont?
Oh,
It's like huge. The Saddle Rack in Fremont. That's what it was. Did you ever perform there?
Yeah, I remember going there. Yeah, they had live music there, line dancing and stuff. So
yeah, I think they even have a mechanical bull.
Yep, they do. And then actually the first place I ever played, my band played, was Jackson in San Francisco. Have you ever been? It's like the only country bar in San Francisco. And I remember emailing them before our band was even really together. And I just said, hey, do you guys have live music? And they were like, no, but you can come sing if you want to. And I was like, okay, I'd love to. And I
wow.
with background tracks. I didn't have a band, and like I didn't play guitar very well. So I was just like, I needed a place to sing, and that's where I sang.
That's awesome.
So you started from the bottom.
That's so cool that you could literally just call the owner, just say, hey, I want to come perform live for you. Like that's, I feel like that's almost unheard of.
Yeah, I mean, I just needed, that was at a moment where, I graduated, I was coaching soccer, I was living back in Danville, and I just was like, I need to get back on stage. I need to get back to playing music. Like, how do I do this? So I was just pretty persistent.
Right. Let me ask you this. Have you, so I used to be on a station in the Bay called 95.7 The Wolf. Did you ever listen to that one?
Yes. And I was so sad. I was in college or something. That was the only radio station, like, while 94.9 and then 95.7 The Wolf. And I remember being in college, I think it was like my freshman or sophomore year, and I like went to scroll to it and it was gone. And I was like, oh my God, one country radio station. And I was really bummed out about it. But still, you worked there.
I did. I worked there. I did late nights at some point.
Okay.
And then I was also on with Ken and Corey in the morning.
Okay.
I was like their assistant producer. And unfortunately, when they flipped, I was part of that. So that's one of the times I got laid off from radio.
Oh.
Yeah. But then exactly. That's why I moved to Sacramento, because they offered me a show here. So I was like,
no, but yes, I'm so glad you brought that up, because I know I miss it. There's not enough country radio in the Bay, that's for sure.
I don't think there is. I think the only country station is like in the South Bay, KRTY.
Yeah, I was on this morning with KRTY, which was crazy. Yeah, so 95.3. I listened to them growing up too. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's so weird to me that like major cities don't have, country. A lot of like, I think LA is the only one that has a country station. New York, I don't think does. The Bay Area doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, Nashville has a ton. That's what I loved when I first moved to Nashville. Every single time you click it, it's some of them are like outlaw country, some of them are like really traditional, some of them are mainstream. So it's really fun. But I'm so happy to chat with you today and meet you. And oh my God, this is
I know. Honestly, when I saw well, first of all, where are you quarantining, in Nashville or in the Bay Area?
I'm in the Bay Area, so when we were told we have to do the shelter in place, I thought about going back to Nashville, but my whole family's here. I have family in Walnut Creek. I have family here in Danville. My mom's house is really in San Ramon, but like Danville's where I grew up. And so I made the decision to come home to be with family. I hadn't been back since Christmas and just really wanted to be with family. And it's been so nice being home. And it's been really fun to go through this American Idol journey at home, because it's kind of brought me back to my roots a little bit. And as much as Nashville is definitely my home in another way, like, it's been so cool being home. And the coolest thing that happened was right before my Top 40 episode, my mom was like, hey, we were just about to sit down and watch it. And she's like, hey, come outside. You have to show you something. And I was like, what, Mom? Yeah, I'm being like a brat. And I walk out to the front and all these cars start driving by honking. And they all have signs that say like, Grace is our next American Idol. And it was like my elementary school principal was like driving by in a car. My high school soccer coaches, like my kids I babysat when I was in high school, friends, families, like, and it really was like such a moment for me. And it brought me to tears to realize like, wow, like this town, is so behind me, and as well as just the Bay Area in general. But I never would have gotten that if I was in Nashville. And so it really meant a lot. And it's been really fun, the outpour of support and love from, where I spent 24 years of my life, and
Yeah.
it's been really, really great. So
And that's the thing. That's the funny thing about the Bay Area, because I used to live in what? Oh, was that your dog? You're fine. That's part of being at home, honestly.
what are you gonna do?
I feel like a lot of people, because I lived in Walnut Creek while I was on that station out there.
Okay.
And I feel like a lot of people, when they're like, oh, Bay Area, all they think of is San Francisco and maybe, Silicon Valley.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people don't really think of like the East Bay.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Like going past is it the Caldecott Tunnel? I forget what it's called.
Yeah,
the Caldecott Tunnel. Going past the Caldecott Tunnel, people don't realize that's still the Bay Area.
Yeah, I know. I know. And it's funny when I'm in Nashville, they're like, where are you from? I usually start with California. And then they're like, if they really know it, they're like, what part? And I'm like, Northern California. And they're like, what part
of that?
Okay. And I'm like, San Francisco. It's funny. It kind of like dwindles down because no one really knows where Danville is. So it's fun. So there have been moments. I was on a plane once, and this guy, we were flying from Nashville to Chicago, and he literally grew up in Danville. And I was like, what? And then he moved to Nashville. So sometimes that stuff happens. It's a small world, but yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's just try saying you're from Sacramento. Sadly, people don't even know Sacramento, and it's the capital of California.
Yeah, totally.
People think LA is the capital of California. There's a couple people. So there's one person said, "Baby, I didn't get the rest of the screen name." Said she voted for you 20 times.
Oh, thank you so much.
So I'm pretty sure Baby is probably one of the reasons you got top 20. So shout out to you. And then Matthew said he's excited for Sunday.
Yay, Sunday! You guys, Sunday.
So Sunday you're performing from home?
Sunday I will be performing from home. Top 20, all of us top 20 coming from all different locations are performing from home. I'm singing a country song. I can't give too much away. But it's, it's a country song. It's an emotional song. And it's different, because instead of performing into these big cameras or on this big stage, it's an iPhone camera. So, to be frank. So but I'm ready to give it my all. I grew up playing soccer, and you treat every game the same, like no matter how many people are there watching, you have to still play it and give it your all. And so I'm excited to do that on Sunday, but the voting is going to be crazy because the voting last time was a little different when people got me into the top 20. Now the voting happens live. It starts at the top of the episode on Eastern time. So here it's already been open even before you see me, which is crazy, but they opened it up. It closes Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. And so it's a short window, and there's 3 ways to vote. You can vote via text, via the American Idol website and the American Idol app. And that girl that voted for me 20 times, because you can vote 30 times total per person. You can vote 10 times each way. So
cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The information.
I don't know if you can say, and you can definitely say you can't talk about it, but like, what are the rules of, because I know like normally you're on stage, so you can either have, there's a lot of things you can have there. You can have a backup band, you can have like pre-recorded music. What are the rules of doing it from home? And what happens if your internet cuts out?
I mean, it's a reality show. If your internet cuts out, it cuts out. But I will say American Idol has gone above and beyond to make sure that not only the fairness is into play, that everyone kind of has access to the same stuff. We all have access to the same equipment. We're all using the same stuff. And we all have pretty much the same in terms of like, the musicality behind it, like the arrangement of songs. That's all still the same. I think, and then it's kind of cool because just like we would on stage, kind of bring our own character out, and even on the live shows, those are ideas that we come up with. We say, hey, I want to wear this, or like, hey, I kind of want this to happen. We're artists, so we're doing the same thing. It's just at home. So these ideas of, hey, I think this will be a cool look and for the song, and I think I want to do this and do that. Like that all comes from all of us, individually. So you're still going to get that character from all 20 of us. And I think the only difference is the ability to connect without having the energy of a crowd or the band. It's just a lot of focus, and it's kind of like, in these rehearsals, I've had to almost like take myself there, like, okay, what would it be like back on stage in Nashville with my full band behind me, you know? So
Right.
yeah.
So what happens if like your dog like decides to jump in and like, because my dog will jump in at all my Zoom staff meetings. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, I've done my best to, you know, keep them where they need to go, but if it happens, it happens. I mean, that's what's kind of fun with this too. People, I feel like, are really getting to know us and to know not just us on stage, you know, with a bunch of hair and makeup done. It's the real us. So that's,
Yeah, you don't even have a glam squad at this point, right?
No, I don't.
That's the reality show and me talking.
Right, exactly. But
So,
it's been fun.
you have some super fans on here, by the way. Megan, she said, I don't know if I should actually say this, but she said, I voted 90 times for you with different emails.
We're getting creative. I love it.
Yes. And Megan, and actually a couple people have wanted to know. I don't know if you can say this or not. They want to know, will Sunday be live or is it pre-recorded?
It's called live taped. I'm pretty sure that's the phrasing. So
Got it.
It's pretty much live, but because we're trying to bring like the best quality to you guys, especially with like the sound and you know, different stuff like that.
And horrible Wi-Fi, maybe.
Yeah, it's not like a live stream, you know, but it is all real. Like it is all one take of.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. It's just, you know, yeah. That's all I can say. Is it what's
interesting to me is, and you know, this is kind of something that I don't want to say frustrates, but almost disappoints me in the music industry. Out of 20 people, you're the only country artist, right?
I'm the only country artist. Yeah. So
it like is that almost, you know, what I love is that it's a female country artist. I'm not gonna lie, because male, you know, country is still at this point very male dominated. Mm-hmm. And I love, you know, in the country realm, I would probably be considered a feminist because I'm not sick of like hearing dudes, you know, playing dudes 4 hours a day every single day. Mm-hmm. But I'm very much like hurrah for when a female, you know, country artist is successful.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, and it's, you know, to your point, I'm surprised. You know, there are so many talented country artists and female country artists out there, and Lauren Massetti was one of them. And her and I both couldn't believe that, you know, they were leaving it up to only have one country artist in the top 20. Yeah. So it's very surprising. I'm very grateful that I get to represent not only female country music, but country music in general. And yeah, you know, it's awesome, but I agree. It's surprising because there's just and especially being in Nashville, I see it everywhere. So many talented artists and, you know, undiscovered, like even songwriters and artists that are just so amazing. I have so many friends back home that are so proud of me because it's so hard to be heard in that town, and it's hard to be heard in general. And that's what's been really cool. American Idol has allowed me a platform for people to hear my voice. And I'm 28. I've been doing this a long time, and it's taken me a while to get here. So it's well worth it.
Do you feel in Nashville? I mean, because obviously Taylor Swift sings about, like, I think she has a single dedicated to, you know, a song saying, if I were a man, I would have gotten here quicker. Mm-hmm. Do you feel that when you're in Nashville?
I mean, you can feel it. I mean, most of the Broadway bars are, you know,
male dominated.
Male dominant, yeah. But at the same time, I have a lot.
God, I would love like Carrie Underwood to open up a bar on Broadway out there.
That's what I was saying. I was like, you got Luke Bryan's, you got Dirk Bentley,
you got Blake Shelton.
I need like Miranda Lambert to open up a bar on Broadway.
Yes. Oh my God. But she lives in New York.
Oh my God.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. But can you imagine like Gunpowder and Lead or something? Just
yes. Oh my God, that would be a perfect bar name.
Perfect bar name. But yeah, no.
So the thing is, I go there a lot because my mom lives. Do you know where Nolensville is?
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom lives in Nolensville.
Amazing.
So I'm there like probably 3-4 times a year, and Broadway is by far, aside from the Las Vegas Strip, Broadway to me is by far like probably number 2 best place in the world to just go out and party, you know, on a Friday and Saturday night. aside from, when quarantine is happening.
Yeah.
It's just
I know,
such a fun place.
It's really sad right now. I've been seeing photos of my friends who have just gone down to Broadway, and it's a ghost town, and it's really sad to see right now. And my bandmate Kyle, who we put our band together here and moved to Nashville, he usually works for the Sprocket Rocket, which is one of those like pedal bikes that goes down Broadway. And it's awesome. And I've been on a few of those with him, and it's a blast. But it's a bummer. I mean, those companies are all closed right now, but I'm so excited to, hopefully, praying soon here we can get back to, music and live music. And I think people are going to appreciate it so much more and come out and see us play so much more now that, we miss it. And
yeah. I have a theory that I honestly am not. I'm normally an optimistic person. I'm unfortunately pessimistic about at least this summer. My theory is like during the summer or even like into the fall when artists tour, they may have to do multiple smaller dates per city.
Yeah.
So
I know. I wonder how the fall is going to look like. Yeah, and it's such, it's just the summer being like Stagecoach, and I mean, and even Coachella and Country Summer.
Well, those got pushed back to October, which is prime flu season, which is what they're saying. So I'm worried about that. But anyway, let's get to more positive stuff.
Sorry. This Sunday.
Right, exactly. Actually, so Zoomer Girl just commented. She said that she's 100% certain you're going to make the top 10.
Oh, thank you. You guys can do it. It's in your hands, man. Like,
it is.
I'm gonna give my absolute best, and because I want to bring that to you guys. But I know that I have this like Team Grace going, and Team Grace is incredible. They got me.
I love that.
So,
I definitely want. Are you going to be able to sing your single by chance?
Sing it.
Yeah.
Right now.
Oh no. Okay. No. It's if you don't. Don't worry.
I don't know if I'm allowed.
Oh, you're not. Oh, okay. Never mind then. Well, in that case, it's okay because I have plenty of other questions I wanted to ask you anyway. So I believe it was your original audition, which by the way, I'm normally not blown away by auditions. And when my boss was like, hey, we want to set this Instagram live thing up, obviously I do my research and everything. And normally I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I was blown away. I was legitimately blown away by your audition.
Thank you so much.
And it's just it's and then when I found out you're from Northern California, I was like, oh my God. My question on that though is that during that, Katy Perry, she said something to the effect of "you sound better when you're sad" or something like that. Mm-hmm. Like, what did that? Personally, I feel like your vibe is super high energy and positive. Did they like?
Yeah,
how did?
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. She said, she said, can you sing something sad country? And
right.
Yeah, I think because I opened up with such a joyous song as "Crowded Table" by the Highwaymen. And yeah, you can see I'm always smiling. I'm like,
right.
I'm a pretty happy person, but and a fun fact is I didn't prepare crazy at all. That's why
really? That was my next question because you did it so freaking well. I don't even think you had like a tune thing in like, did you even know what note to start on?
Yes, thank God Kyle was there. So Kyle was the guy in the cool hat playing guitar for me.
Right.
And we had prepared, a few songs because you never know if they might not like the first one. So you do have to have a couple backups. But
right.
I didn't have a sad song backup. Like a very, that was a very specific request. And so
yes.
And it was just kind of like, oh crap. Like, okay.
Right.
Going back to like no pressure. But she said sad country, and I looked at Kyle, and but Crazy did come to mind. We had played Crazy before. I obviously knew the song, but I hadn't sang it in years. And Kyle and I used to sing it when we were back here. It was one of the first songs we learned together, like as a band. But again, like I don't play it in Nashville. I never really sing it. And he just gave me the note on guitar, which actually was a little bit high for me. So okay. And yeah, I just had to.
I mean, it didn't sound too high for you. It sounded freaking like I don't really know like a lot of us don't know the behind the scenes, like, oh, was she prepared for that? Did she know Katy Perry was going to ask that?
No, that is,
wow.
That was very, I was like, and Kyle was like, yeah, sing that. But I remember I loved it because in Milwaukee, that room, the Performing Arts Center, was like, it like echoed and it like carried. And I remember just kind of like, this is it. This is all I got.
Yeah.
Like, this is all I can do. And I just belted it out. And thankfully people loved it and they loved it. But yeah, it was interesting to hear like sing some sad country. So again, on Sunday, there might be some sad country coming out. And
oh, good.
yeah. So it is funny because, and like even Natural Woman, you know, my top 40 performance, like that's a joyous song too. It's a powerful song, but it's like, yeah, you know, like you make me feel good. And I got to smile a lot during that performance. So I try to, you know, every performance show something else, you know, show something different. And I don't like to just kind of be the same the whole time, and
right.
showing what else I can do.
I love that. Well, I'm going to let you go. I just want to, a couple other people, Tam, I maybe wrote this down wrong. Tam Veer said you're absolutely going to make top 5.
Oh, thank you. Wow. I appreciate it.
Which honestly, I believe, and I honestly, again, hope, because out of 20 people, one country artist, like country has to be represented. I mean, we, you know, aside from, I think it's hip hop, I think country is like the number 2 genre in, you know, in the country.
Yeah.
So how can you not have a top 5 country artist? It just blows my mind that top. Sorry, I'll get off of that because that. Anyway,
I have to agree with you there.
I feel like country gets the short end of the stick in a lot of things. You know, Core said, "Good job," because if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
Thanks, Corey.
So because you were clearly ready for that, even though you didn't know that the sad song was coming. And then the last one, JCan2 said, "You're nailing this. You go, girl."
Oh, thank you so much. This was so fun. Thank you so much for having me on here, Pacey. And this is so
absolutely.
cool.
And to be honest, I haven't been following the season, but I'm definitely going to be voting for you 30 times now.
Yes. Follow and watch Sunday, you guys, and vote. I'm going to need you to get me to top 10.
Awesome. I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. You have a wonderful day and stay safe, okay?
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.